Greetings, adventurers, and welcome back to Abnormal Voyages. My name is David, and today we find ourselves in Brownsville, Tennessee. Now, you can't quite read this sign next to me, but what it says is Mindfield Cemetery, a life of one. This represents this massive art piece behind me, which was created entirely by Mr. Billy Tripp. So this is affectionately referred to as Billy Tripp's Mindfield. Now, this is the largest sculpture in Tennessee and is an entire representation of Billy's life. He says he will continue building it until the very end, and he intends to be buried here at this sculpture piece. He's been working on it since 1989, and there is a lot of little details to see. Come tag along and we'll check it out.
We're going to a place that you've never heard of before. It's Abnormal Voyages. You're gonna learn something new. We're gonna open new doors. It's Abnormal Voyages.
Everything about Billy Tripp's Mindfield is very, very unique. I mean, just looking at it, you can tell it's definitely unusual, but the story behind it and the man behind it are equally as unique. Now, getting some facts out of the way first, this entire thing spans about half an acre of land currently, and at its tallest point hits 127 feet tall, with a couple other points hitting at about 110. So it is definitely a very large structure. This entire thing started way back in 1989 and actually was not intended to be anything at all like what's here today. In the beginning, Billy literally just needed to get some stuff off of his property, kind of put it together. He had some loose metal and things like that. He's kind of pushed it into one section, added a little bit more, and that led to him creating a structure that kind of fenced it in, kind of housed it there together. And eventually, he just started feeling very creative and started adding more and more to what he had. Now, you may have noticed that sign that said Mindfield 1989 to 20 blank. And it is blank because, yes, this is going to be where Billy Tripp is buried. He's already gotten permission, they already know what's going to happen, and he basically considers this him building his own cemetery now. Because ultimately, this will not be finished, he claims, until he passes away and is officially interred here. Yep, there we go, Billy 1955 to 20 blank, as he and the wonderful Mindfield will end/be complete at the exact same time when he passes away. As I mentioned, Billy himself, very interesting guy, very unique. He really didn't come from a very strong background of almost anything. He tried a lot of stuff growing up. His dad was a minister, but that was never really something that appealed to Billy. They also had a cured ham business that was kind of on the side, and Billy wasn't really into ham. So he didn't really go into any of the family businesses or follow in his father's footsteps. He did enjoy welding a little bit. He never really got any formal training, but he got to do a little bit of it. And that seems to be part of what has led to what we see here now. It's very important to state, though, everything Billy has done has pretty much been self-taught. He never really got a super strong formal education and stuff. He would try some classes. He ended up dropping out of college. He never really, boned up on a lot of this stuff. He just kind of went out there and tried stuff out for himself. And honestly, that's probably part of what makes this as whimsical as it is. Now, we would absolutely very firmly categorize this as folk art. And like I mentioned in the beginning, this is the largest outdoor art installation / sculpture in the entire state of Tennessee. Probably one of the largest ones in the country in general, because it is absolutely huge, especially ones made by one person. But Billy never intended this to be some big artistic thing for other people. He literally made this as basically an autobiography of his life. He thinks that stepping into the Mindfield is like stepping into his literal mind. There's pieces of his history, there's things in his past, and in a very symbolic and roundabout way, this structure tells his entire life. And yes, that man that was right there, that was Billy himself working on the Mindfield. We didn't want to bother him in the middle of forging new things, but he is still out there avidly adding to this basically every chance he gets. Billy's actually been quoted as saying things very similar to, "The Mindfield is a conversation that I'm having with myself. However, I don't mind if other people happen to overhear that conversation." We saw in the beginning that this was basically dedicated to his mother and father. His mother passed away when he was much younger, and then his father in the early 2000s also passed. He was very close to both of them, and as a matter of fact, he readily states that his father was very much his best friend and actually helped him with putting a lot of this together in the earlier days. So definitely makes sense that he would honor them here and add things that help remind him of them. In a way, it's actually his mother that kicked off this entire thing. Mabel Tripp was her name. She died in 1977, and when she passed away, he began the Mindfield. But it was not a construction project like what we're seeing here. It was actually a book that he would go on to self-publish. It was titled The Mindfield Years, and it was his, basically, biography. This was volume 1 that he called The Sycamore Trees, and since then he's written several other volumes that have gone on to continue telling the mostly autobiographical story of his life. Together with the books, this massive monument really can be deciphered to tell a funny, quirky, sometimes heartbreaking story of the entire life of someone here on Earth. Definitely unique in what it is, but in a way, it's telling the story that all of us go through. There's loss, there's love, there's hope, there's trials and triumphs. Just truly an amazing piece of work. And it's even better that he never intended it to become the huge folk art monument that it happens to be today. I absolutely love this place. Ultimately, I think what the Mindfield really stands for is that there is no limit to the wacky, weird, and wonderful ways you can interpret a life. And at the end of the day, that's what really matters. Well, that's all the time we have for today, adventurers. If you enjoyed this, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe so you can see all of our future voyages, and comment below where you think we should go next. All of it really helps us out, and we greatly appreciate it. If you're interested in perhaps supporting us a little further, you can also check out our Patreon. Link is going to be down below. You can sign up and get some awesome things, such as a postcard in the mail every single month from somewhere we visit. My name is David, and this has been Abnormal Voyages. Thanks for tagging along. See you next time.
Thanks for watching Abnormal Voyages. Thanks for watching.